All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon NCC and NSS cadets to make campus drug-free. Prime Minister says, world is entitled to benefit from Indian music like they have from yoga. 1,000 drones to perform light show for the first time ever at Beating the Retreat ceremony in national capital this evening. Haryana government relaxes COVID restrictions. Cinema halls and multiplexes allowed to operate with 50% capacity. Ananthanageshwaran appointed Chief Economic Advisor to Government of India. Delhi government to soon make pollution under control certificates mandatory for filling fuel at petrol pumps. India and UK conclude first round of talks for free trade agreement. And India beat China 2-0 to win bronze medal at Women's Asia Cup Hockey. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, please continue to follow the 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said, no power of the world can stop the country whose youth starts moving ahead with the thinking of nation first. Addressing the National Cadet Corps PM rally at Cariappa ground yesterday in New Delhi, Mr. Modi underlined the major role that youngsters can play in the Vocal for Local campaign. He said, if today's youth resolves to use only those goods that have been created with the labor and sweat of an Indian, India's destiny can be transformed.
आप सभी युवा वोकल फॉर लोकल के अभियान में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभा सकते हैं। अगर भारत के युवा ठान लें कि जिस चीज के निर्माण में किसी भारतीय का श्रम लगा है, किसी भारतीय का पसीना बहा है, सिर्फ वही चीज इस्तेमाल करेंगे तो भारत का भाग्य तेज गति से बदल सकता है।
The Prime Minister spoke about the steps being taken to strengthen the NCC in the country in a period when the country is moving forward with new resolutions. The Prime Minister said this year the country is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and when the youth become part of such a historic event, we see glimpses of our Yuva Shakti, who will fulfill India's dream when we achieve 100 years of independence in 2047. The Prime Minister elaborated on the steps being taken to open the doors of the defence establishments for girls and women. He noted the presence of a large number of girl cadets and termed it to be a symbol of the changing attitude of the nation.
अब देश की बेटियां सैनिक स्कूलों में एडमिशन ले रही, सेना में महिलाओं को बड़ी जिम्मेदारियां मिल रही, एयरफोर्स में देश की बेटियां फाइटर प्लेन उड़ा रही है। ऐसे में हमारा प्रयास होना चाहिए कि एनसीसी में भी ज्यादा से ज्यादा बेटियां शामिल हो। जिन बेटियों ने खुद एनसीसी ज्वाइन किया है, वो इसके लिए एक प्रेरणा बन सकती है।
The Prime Minister stressed that drugs should not reach the schools and colleges where there is NCC or NSS. He advised the cadets to be free from drugs themselves and, at the same time, keep their campus free from drugs.
नशा हमारी युवा पीढ़ी को कितना बर्बाद करता है, ये आप भली भांति जानते हैं। आप कैडेट के तौर पर खुद ड्रग्स से मुक्त रहें और साथ ही साथ अपने कैंपस को भी ड्रग्स से मुक्त रखें। आपके साथी जो एनसीसी, एनएसएस में नहीं हैं, उन्हें भी इस बुरी आदत को छोड़ने में मदद करिए।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the world is entitled to benefit from Indian music like they have from yoga. Mr. Modi said that like yoga, Indian music too has a capacity to stir the depth of human mind and the world is entitled to be benefited from it. The Prime Minister was addressing a function via video conferencing yesterday after launching Pandit Jasraj Cultural Foundation.
आज के ग्लोबलाइजेशन के जमाने में भारतीय संगीत भी अपनी ग्लोबल पहचान बनाए, ग्लोबली अपना प्रभाव पैदा करे, ये हम सबका दायित्व है। भारतीय संगीत मानवीय मन की गहराई को आंदोलित करने का सामर्थ्य रखता है, साथ साथ प्रकृति और परमात्मा की वननेस के अनुभव को भी बल देता है। इंटरनेशनल योगा डे, अब सारी दुनिया में योगा एक प्रकार से सहज अस्तित्व उसका अनुभव होता है और उसमें एक बात अनुभव आती है कि भारत की इस विरासत से पूरी मानव जात, पूरा विश्व लाभान्वित हुआ है। विश्व का हर मानवी भारतीय संगीत को जानने, समझने, सीखने और लाभान्वित होने का भी हकदार है।
Paying his tribute to Pandit Jasraj on the occasion of the Jayanti of the Dawn of Indian classical music, Mr. Modi lauded Durga Jasraj and Pandit Sharangdev for keeping alive the glorious legacy of the maestro. As part of Republic Day celebrations, the Beating the Retreat ceremony will be held at the historic Vijay Chowk this evening. A novel drone show will be one of the major attractions of this year's Beating the Retreat ceremony. The ceremony will be graced by President and Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Ramnath Kovind. Other dignitaries, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, will witness the show, which has been conceptualized, designed, produced and choreographed under the Make in India initiative. Our correspondent reports that the novel drone with Indian fervour will be the flavour of the ceremony this year.
For the first time, the drone show has been made a part of the ceremony to commemorate 75 years of independence being celebrated as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The drone show has been organized by a startup Boat Lab Dynamics and supported by Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi and Department of Science and Technology. The show would be of 10 minutes duration involving around 1,000 drones fabricated through indigenous technology. Synchronized background music will also be played during the drone show. A total of 26 performances will enthrall the spectators with foot-tapping music played by the bands of Indian Army, Navy, Air Force and Central Armed Police Forces. The entry band will be masked band playing the Veer Sainik tune. This will be followed by pipes and drums band, CAPF band, Air Force band, Naval band, Army military band and masked bands. The principal conductor of the ceremony will be Commander Vijay Charles D. Cruz. Besides, a number of new tunes have been added to the ceremony to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. These include Kerala Hind Ki Sena and Aye Mere Watan Ke Logo. The event will come to a close with ever popular tune of Sare Jahan Se Acha. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Delhi Police has made elaborate traffic arrangements in view of beating the retreat ceremony to be held today at Vijay Chowk in the national capital, as well as for illumination of Rashtrapati Bhavan, North Block, South Block and Parliament House. As per the traffic advisory, Vijay Chowk will remain closed for general traffic from 2 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. today. No traffic will be allowed on Raisina Road from Krishi Bhavan roundabout towards Vijay Chowk, beyond Darashikoh Road roundabout, Krishna Menon Marg roundabout and Sunehri Masjid roundabout towards Vijay Chowk. As per the advisory, traffic will be restricted on Rajpath between Vijay Chowk and C Hexagon. The commuters are advised to take alternate routes like Ring Road, Ridge Road, Aurobindo Marg, Madrasa, T Point, Rani Jhansi Road and Minto Road. The entry and exit gates of Udyog Bhavan and Central Secretariat metro stations will remain closed from 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. today. In Uttarakhand, 750 candidates have filed nomination papers for assembly elections. Scrutiny of nominations will be done today. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami of BJP has filed his nomination from Khatima seat in Udham Singh Nagar district, while Congress leader, former Chief Minister Harish Rawat has filed papers from Lal Kuan seat in Nainital district. The elections to the 70-member Uttarakhand Assembly will be held on February the 14th. The counting of votes will be taken up on March the 10th.
In Uttar Pradesh, the Election Commission is focusing on increasing the poll percentage in the upcoming assembly polls. Various voter awareness drives are being carried out in the state. In one such novel initiative, the district administration of Shamli is writing postcards to all Divyang voters, inviting them to cast their franchise on the polling day. We have more from our correspondent.
Voting in Shamli district will be held in the first phase on 10th of February. The district administration is working round the clock to increase the voting percentage. Apart from carrying out various campaigns to increase the voter turnout, it has also kicked off a unique drive to draw Divyang voters to the polling booths. The administration is going to send handwritten postcards to over 6,500 Divyang voters in the district, urging them to cast their franchise. Shamli DM Jasjeet Kaur says,
शामली जनपद में हमारे दिव्यांग मतदाताओं को मोटिवेट करने के लिए एक प्रोग्राम हम लोग जल्द कर रहे हैं, जिसमें DIOs के माध्यम से स्कूली बच्चों के द्वारा हम लोग पोस्टकार्ड लिखवाएंगे, जिसमें एक आमंत्रण उनको भेजा जाएगा जिला प्रशासन की तरफ से। एक अपील की जाएगी कि वो 10 फरवरी को वोट अपनी कास्ट जरूर करें।
These postcards will be collected on 31st January and a mini exhibition will be organized at the district headquarters, after which they will be dispatched to the Divyang voters in the district. With Anuj Saini in Shamli, Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
Amid the ongoing assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh, the Election Commission has announced to hold biennial elections for the Legislative Council seats spread across 35 local authorities constituencies. Elections for these 35 seats will be conducted in two phases on 3rd and 7th March. The term of the current members is ending on 7th March. A total of 29 constituencies will go to polls in the first round of polling on 3rd March, and voting on remaining 6 constituencies will be conducted on 7th March in the second phase.
The last date for registration to participate in the 5th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha has been extended till 3rd of February. Pariksha Pe Charcha is an interactive program wherein students, parents and teachers from India and overseas interact with Prime Minister Narendra Modi to discuss and overcome the stress emerging out of examinations in order to celebrate life as an utsav. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people of the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. This time, Mann Ki Baat will be broadcast from 11:30 a.m. instead of the usual 11 a.m. after observing the remembrances to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his death anniversary. This will be the 85th edition of the monthly radio program and the first episode of 2022. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon NCC and NSS cadets to make campus drug-free. Prime Minister says world is entitled to benefit from Indian music like they have from yoga. 1,000 drones to perform light show for the first time ever are beating the retreat ceremony in national capital this evening. Haryana government relaxes COVID restrictions. Cinema halls and multiplexes allowed to operate with 50% capacity. Ananthanageshwaran appointed Chief Economic Advisor to Government of India. Delhi government to soon make pollution under control certificate mandatory for filling fuel at petrol pumps. India and UK conclude first round of talks of free trade agreement. And India beat China 2-0 to win bronze medal at Women's Asia Cup Hockey. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Haryana government has eased COVID-related restrictions in the state following decline in coronavirus cases. The state government has allowed cinema halls, theatres and multiplexes to operate with 50% seating capacity. Universities, colleges and schools for classes 10 to 12 have been allowed to open from February the 1st for physical classes. Polytechnics, ITIs, coaching institutions, libraries and training institutes have also been allowed to open from February the 1st. Institutions have been asked to advise students above 15 years of age to get vaccinated with at least the first dose of COVID vaccine.
Gujarat government has extended the night curfew in 27 cities of the state for one more week till 4th February. This decision was taken in a core committee meeting chaired by Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel at Gandhinagar last evening. Hotels and restaurants will be allowed home delivery services of food for 24 hours. Dr. V. Ananthanageshwaran has been appointed Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India. He assumed charge yesterday. Prior to this appointment, Dr. Nageshwaran had worked as a writer, author, teacher and consultant. He has taught at several business schools and institutes of management in India and in Singapore. Dr. Nageshwaran was the Dean of IFMR Graduate School of Business and a distinguished visiting professor of economics at Kriya University. He has also been a part-time member of the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister of India from 2019 to 2021. He holds a postgraduate diploma in management from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and a doctoral degree from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst.
Delhi government will soon make pollution under control PUC certificate mandatory for filling fuel at pumps. The draft policy will be placed for public opinion before being notified. Environment Minister Gopal Rai said that the policy will effectively help the government ensure that polluting vehicles do not ply in Delhi. Advisor to the Environment Minister Reena Gupta stated that the policy affirms the commitment of the Delhi government towards ensuring clean air for all citizens. Vehicle owners will have to carry their PUC certificate to the fuel pump, and in case it is found invalid, they will have to get it reissued at the pump. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव। Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
Late 18th century witnessed the beginning of press in British India when the first English language newspaper, Bengal Gazette, was published in Kolkata on the 29th of January 1780. It was an Irish gentleman, James Augustus Hickey, who started publishing Bengal Gazette, a weekly newspaper which was also known as Calcutta General Advertiser. This was the first editorial effort in India to expose the corruption of the British government. Its slogan was, "Open to all, but influenced by none." People were greatly inspired by Hickey's brave attitude for revealing truth.
Soon thereafter, some employees of the British East India Company also started a newspaper named India Gazette. Thus, when the rival newspaper India Gazette was published on the same day, Hickey changed the name of this newspaper to Hickey's Bengal Gazette.
Hickey's Bengal Gazette was a strong critic of the colonial administration. He fought against Governor General Hastings' corruption. He raised his voice for Indian sepoys. Articles about the Bengali poor were common in his newspaper. As a reply to this, Warren Hastings ordered the seizure of the printing press of the Bengal Gazette, and it ceased publication on the 30th of March 1782.
दिल पे ना कुछ गम रहे, हर घड़ी हर लहजा याद सीने से बाहम रहे.
We also remember Fazil Muhammad Khan and his associates who attained martyrdom on 29th of January 1858. Fazil Muhammad Khan and Adil Muhammad Khan of Bhopal were landlords who became one of the chief rebel leaders in the central India region during the revolt of 1857. after being inspired by Fazil Muhammad and Adil Muhammad. Many soldiers of the nearby princely states plunged into the War of Independence.
During the revolt of 1857, sepoys of the Bhopal state, who revolted against the British, wanted to have control over the neighbouring region of Sagar, and the fort of Rahatgarh was the doorway to Sagar. However, Bhopal Nawab Begum Sikandar Jahan was against these sepoys and wanted to crush the mutiny. Thus the army of Bhopal state and the army of Fazil Muhammad Khan had a fierce battle at Rajgarhi in July 1857, in which sepoys won. The sepoys then helped drive away the British from adjoining areas and also took over the fort of Rahatgarh.
To control the sepoys, the British government then sent an army brigade from Mahou to Rahatgarh in January 1858. The British regiment was led by General Hugh Groves. The army of Bhopal Sikandar Begum was also supporting the British. On January the 25th, 1858, the British stormed the fort.
Hundreds of sepoys were martyred in the battle. Adil Muhammad Khan managed to escape and later remained in many revolutionary campaigns with Tatya Tope. Fazil Muhammad Khan was caught and was hanged at the door of the fort with other revolutionaries on January the 29th, 1858. We pay tributes to the brave sons of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak, Jago. BJP President JP Nadda has welcomed Supreme Court order which held Maharashtra Assembly decision to suspend 12 BJP MLAs from the House for 1 year as unconstitutional and irrational. In a tweet, Mr. Nadda termed it as a victory of truth. He said, BJP will continue to raise its voice against unconstitutional acts of Maharashtra's Mahavikas Aghadi government. Mr. Nadda said that BJP has always fought for people's rights in line with the Indian Constitution and democracy.
India and the United Kingdom have concluded the first round of talks for India-UK Free Trade Agreement. Commerce and Industry Ministry has said that technical experts on both sides came together for discussions and covered 26 policy areas. Discussions were held on trade in goods and services, including financial services and telecommunications, investment, intellectual property, customs and trade facilitation, government procurement, among others. The ministry said negotiations were productive and reflected shared ambition to boost trade between India and UK. The second round of negotiations will take place from 7th to 18th March this year. Both the countries have set an ambitious target to conclude negotiations by the end of this year.
The extended runway at Jammu Airport has become operational. Indigo Flight 6E137 was the first flight that traversed through the newly constructed portion, and a water cannon salute was given by the Indian Air Force. The existing runway, which was 6,700 feet long, has been extended, and the revised stretch of runway is now 8,000 feet. The earlier runway was too short for landing, due to which the aircraft coming at Jammu airport used to carry less weight than their capacity, and they also had to apply emergency brakes to stop. The expansion of work was completed by Airports Authority of India in coordination with Indian Air Force and Military Engineering Services. In addition to the runway, 2,800 meters of boundary wall, rigid pavement perimeter road and a turn pad designed for Airbus 321 was also constructed under the project. India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 164 crore 96 lakh mark. Union Health Ministry said more than 48,98,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. It said more than 1 crore 9 lakh precautionary doses have been administered to the eligible beneficiaries so far. The Health Ministry said that over 93 crore 67 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as first dose and more than 70 crore 19 lakh vaccine doses given as second dose.
In hockey, India beat China 2-0 for a bronze medal in the Women's Asia Cup at Muscat in Oman yesterday evening. Sharmila Devi in the 13th minute and Gurjeet Kaur in the 19th minute scored the goals for India.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to have mist. The temperature will vary between 6 and 21 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 32 degrees. Chennai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will vary between 25 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. The city observed minimum temperature of 12 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be around 22 degrees. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon. Temperature will hover between -3 and 12 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 6 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 18 degrees. Leh is likely to witness partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will hover between -17 and -2 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 0 and 12 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon. The minimum temperature was 4 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 17 degrees. Hyderabad will have fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. Temperature will hover between 14 and 29 degrees Celsius. Imphal will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Shillong will have mainly clear sky and Aizawl will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. COVID cases start to plateau in third national wave, writes in Hindustan Times. Positivity rate dips further to 8.6% as Delhi gets back to business, reports the Times of India. Nod given by India's drugs regulator to nasal vaccines phase 3 trial, writes the Tribune. The Pioneer quotes WHO as saying that the new coronavirus neoCOV's risk to humans needs clarity. It can cause more deaths, highlight researchers in China, while others say the virus is not new, reports the paper. States must decide on SC/ST quota and promotions, rules the Supreme Court. Headlines the Hindu wants states to collect cadre-based data to determine SC/ST representation in government offices, informs the Indian Express. The proposal by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to set up a bad bank has been cleared. 15 cases adding up to 50,000 crore to be shifted by March 31, writes the Indian Express. And with an eye on China, Philippines signs Brahmo Steel, headlines at Statesman. The deal is worth $375 million, writes the paper.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon NCC and NSS cadets to make campus drug-free. Prime Minister says world is entitled to benefit from Indian music like they have from yoga. 1,000 drones to perform light show for the first time ever at Beating the Retreat ceremony in national capital this evening. Haryana government relaxes COVID restrictions. Cinema halls and multiplexes allowed to operate with 50% capacity. Ananthanageshwaran appointed Chief Economic Advisor to Government of India. Delhi government to soon make pollution under control certificates mandatory for filling fuel at petrol pumps. India and UK conclude first round of talks for free trade agreement, and India beat China 2-0 to win bronze medal at Women's Asia Cup hockey. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with this, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.